What is up, you guys? I am back in action. So it has been 2 weeks off, and the first week was kind of planned because my family was here, but the second week was not. Our water heater went out literally as soon as they left, pretty much. So I was living with my in-laws for a week, which was great, like to have somewhere to go like that. But it really threw me off my content creating and whatever because I didn't have my space and all my tools and etc. So with that being said, I'm back now. We are creating videos. We are doing big things. And I am just happy to be able to just honestly record another YouTube video because it's been 2 weeks and it's been a long 2 weeks and I'm just excited to be back with you guys. So here we go. Today we are going to do just a little bit about me, how I got into wrestling, why I watch wrestling, favorite stars at the moment, and all time, and etc. Those are the questions that I get asked quite a bit in my live streams and on TikTok and whatever. Is like, how did you become a wrestling fan? How long have you been watching it? Who are your favorite, superstars? So I just thought let's record a whole video on it, talking about it, and just give you a little backstory on myself and how I got into wrestling. So let's start off with the wrestling stuff, and then at the end we'll do some little fun facts about me. But I've been watching wrestling pretty much most of my life. My dad watched it when I was younger with his brothers. They would always get together and watch the pay-per-view events, and somebody at that point would buy them, and we would all just kind of go to one house and watch them. So I've been watching wrestling pretty much most of my life, like probably since the late 90s, early 2000s is when I really kind of was in that scene. I did, kind of fall off from watching it during high school, college, just because you're busy, you got social life, things are going on, and I just couldn't watch it as consistently as I did and do now. But I still followed some of the stars I still kept in touch with. During this point in time, Total Divas was out. I was watching that, very religiously. So I still followed stars and I still followed the storylines. I just didn't sit down every single week and watch it. Then fast forward to just a little bit after COVID, I started really watching it again, like sitting down every single week, watching it, keeping up with the storylines, what people were going and doing and whatever. And it's been like that ever since. And I even went back to Peacock and watched some of the stuff that I missed, and kind of caught up on some storylines, caught up on some people. But I've always had my favorites that I've followed all along. I just did not watch it every single week like I do now. With that being said, I do not plan on not watching it every single week unless it just gets absolutely horrendous, which I don't see happening. I love it. I love the storylines. I love the superstars that keep coming up and keep, making names for themselves. It's really honestly a great outlet. It's honestly my reality TV. I don't get too much into a lot of reality shows. I'm not a Bachelor person. I'm not a Love is Blind person. I watched a couple seasons, but that's just not my cup of tea. So wrestling for me really kind of is that reality TV show that I feed into and love. So I've just been watching it since I was a kid. Kind of off and on when in high school and college, but then came back to it, and honestly, probably now stronger than ever. So I've really enjoyed wrestling most of my life, and I'm actually very happy to see how big the wrestling community is, because there are so many people that I have found with this platform that really enjoy wrestling too, and I think it's really fun to have a safe space to be able to talk about it, discuss it, even disagree. So I really am thankful for wrestling and this platform, and really just kind of finding myself in it, in the content creating world and YouTube and lives and whatever. I love connecting with people. I am a very big extrovert, so this just feeds into that, my passion for wrestling and sports in general, and connecting with people that love that too. So that's a little bit about how long I've been watching wrestling and how I got into it. It was really kind of pretty much my father watched it, and I just kind of honestly like grandfathered into that. Now, I get asked a lot, who are your favorite superstars? So I'm going to do an all-time favorite and then like a current roster favorite. So my all-time favorite male superstar is Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. I honestly, I'll be straight up forward with you. I have no, like, I can't be like, oh, his finishing move is like fantastic. His match against so-and-so was epic. I mean, and he's had some epic matches. Undertaker, Ric Flair, like, the list goes on. But that's not what drew me to him. I have liked Shawn Michaels since the beginning just because when he was on screen, I wanted to watch him. Like, I just was kind of pulled to him, like his attitude, his presence. He just brought a lot of character in the ring, outside of the ring, and I really, really enjoyed that and really honestly fed into it. So that he is just my all-time favorite. Now, needless to say, he's had his fair share of excellent matches, rivals. I mean, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker is fantastic, and then Ric Flair's retirement match with him was just emotional. So he's had his fair share of like great moments, but for me to say that that's what drew me to him is not it. It's just his overall presence is what really drew me to him. Plus I was a big DX fan, and you know, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, OG DX, so it just really kind of all gravitated together. Now, for my women, I am a little newer. A lot of people that I've talked to have been like, you know, Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler. I loved all of them, especially Stacy Keibler. As soon as her theme song, She's Got Legs, hit, I was watching the TV. But my all-time favorite is AJ Lee and Nikki Bella. I loved what these two did during their whole era. I think they really revamped women's wrestling and made it less about the like physical and more about what they did in the ring. That whole group did, and I really respected them for that. But AJ Lee was one of the greatest women's champions of all time. She's fantastic. What she did on the mic, what she did in the ring, her overall character, she just was one of those people that you loved to watch. Whether she was a face or whether she was a heel, you were glued to her. And for Nikki Bella, I just feel that I gravitated a lot to her because she is fearless Nikki. She embodies, you know, achieving big things, big dreams, being fearless and not letting other people's opinions tear you down. I know that a lot in her like little reign that she had, she got a lot of like criticism, as they all do. They all, you know, go through that. But she didn't let that get her down, and she became another great women's champion. And I just really have respect for those two completely. I think they're phenomenal, and I loved seeing Nikki at Royal Rumble. I would love to see AJ back. Those two are just my goats, honestly. Now let's move on to my current favorites. And if you follow me on any of my social medias, this will not surprise you at all. My men's favorite superstar right now is definitely main event Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. I love the bloodline. I love what they have done. I love the evolution that they have created, and they keep just adding more members and becoming bigger and bigger stars. And I absolutely love both of them. I think they are just phenomenal. And I also was a big Shield girl. Like, I love the Shield. One of my favorite factions of all time. And so Roman obviously was in that, and I watched him very, very religiously when he was in the Shield, and I watched the Shield storyline and what they did and followed along. And I loved what they did there. And then I loved how Roman stepped away from the Shield, kind of got lost, but then came back stronger than ever after his cancer battle and everything, and really created this tribal chief era. And I think that he's one of my favorites because literally anybody and everybody that he works with, he builds them up so strong and makes them so powerful. And I just love that not only is he a huge presence, but he makes his opponent a huge presence as well. And of course, that kind of pivoted us into Jey Uso. Jey was a tag team guy. He was Roman's right-hand guy. He was, this guy that everyone thought was just a tag team. And he's one of the greatest tag teams. The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams, period. Like, you can argue with me that. I don't care. They are. But he, just in the last year broke away from that and has shined as a solo superstar. And I just absolutely love that for him. I think it's a little bit because of, the strong storyline that the Bloodline had. Everybody was invested in that. And then so they got invested in each member individually. I think that helped Jey, but he just works hard. He puts everything he has into the ring, everything he has into his storylines. He corrects himself if there's something that he needs to work on, needs to do. He's the first one to do it and correct himself and really focus on his craft. And I love that. I love people that show a true passion for wrestling and what they're doing and don't treat it as kind of like just another job or just another storyline, that he really hones into it. So I am a huge Jey Uso fan. I cannot wait for him to finish his story, play on Cody Rhodes there, and beat Gunther at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship, because we all know his last singles run was way too short and Triple H should have kept that belt on him, but him winning at WrestleMania would just be icing on the cake. For the women, this is no surprise because I talk about them quite often. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. Again, I go back to those people who really kind of bring the passion and the energy into their art, and she does that. She embodies that. I mean, she was a girl who was working at Hooters, loved watching wrestling, watched it, every single time she had a shift and it was on, and she really, worked hard and did her thing and, shot. I'm so tongue-tied. She really took her shot. That's what I'm trying to say. And ever since then, she hasn't slowed down. She's really put her all into who she is and where she's going. And she's another star that has had a hell of a year. And I think she's going to continue to have a hell of a year in 2025. And it's going to just continue to go. But I love everything about her. I think she is one of those people that whether she is face or heel, I'm going to love and enjoy, which is really kind of rare. A lot of superstars are better as a heel or better as a face, and they can't really dial into both of those, and she does that. And of course, we have to talk about the EST. If we're talking about the greatest, Bianca Belair has been a force ever since she's came onto the scene, and I love everything about her. I think she is one of the best superstars, if not the best superstar on the roster right now. And I just really love everything that she embodies. And I honestly just feel so connected with her because she performs in the ring, but she also brings you into her character and into her promos and makes you feel like one of her friends, really. And I love everything that she did when she was a champion. I loved everything she did with Jade. Her and Jade were powerhouses. And I love everything that she has done with Naomi. And what I love the most is throughout all of those, she's never lost her star quality. Some people, when they, go to a tag team, it's about the tag team and no longer about the individual. And her entire career has been about the individual as well as the others around her. And I really, really enjoy that about her. So those are my favorites, all-time and current. There's a lot of great talent on the roster, though. And the storylines lately have been absolutely great. And I'm super excited to see what is to come and to see all of these people shine. But with that being said, we're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to do just some fun facts about me. So, obviously, my name is Mandy. I already told you about how I got into wrestling, so let's talk about some other things. I am a wife and a mother. I just discovered wrestling content a little under a year ago and really kind of wanted to go at it full force because I enjoyed it and wanted to build this community to talk with people. I also am very passionate about fashion and beauty. I am the definition of a girly girl. I love makeup and heels and all of that stuff, so don't be surprised to see me in some heels and a dress or have my nails done, makeup done, whatever, because that's just who I am. I feel better when I like my outfit and how I look. But with that being said, I am a sports girl too. I love baseball, football, basketball, hockey. We watch golf, we watch NASCAR. I really watch a lot of sports and I enjoy them. Football is my favorite by far. I'm a huge Alabama fan. That won't change ever. But I do love baseball. Baseball is a very close second. Chicago sports fan all around. Cubs, Blackhawks, Bulls, Bears. Sometimes they disappoint me, but we're still cheering for them. And I just really think it's important to enjoy life, what you're doing. So again, this is kind of why I create content. It's like an outlet for me. I have a normal job, but this is also just kind of like my fun, creative hobby that I do. I love to travel. I want to travel to every state and then possibly outside of the states and just really see as much as I can and just enjoy and make memories as much as I can. I just really want to embody that life is fun, and even through like some hard times, through some, struggles, like you can still enjoy the moment. I'm a huge believer in manifestation and mindset, and so I try to see the glass as half full rather than half empty. And so if you follow my content, you'll know and you'll see that I'm very positive, very upbeat, and that's just who I am. With that being said, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I wanted to give you a little introduction to me, how I went into wrestling, how I found wrestling, watched wrestling, and yeah. But I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. I hope you like this video. Follow me on all socials, because this content's not going away.